It's like a Black Angus, okay? It's what it is. But it's a Black Angus at the time. And Clean Jumpers, anyway, it's a nice steak. It's a steak restaurant, let's say a Chris Rue's Steakhouse. All right, you go to Chris Rue's Steakhouse. Basically, it's it's like a steakhouse, basically. Clean Jumpers was, and again, I was working there. I had people from these guys were executives from Microsoft. Okay, they came in with their kids. They had a birthday party, and every single kid had a laptop or the adult had it on the cell phone. This is 10 years ago. This happened. The kid was on the laptop. The adult was on a cell phone. It was the whole entire table was like that. Imagine 20 people being on a laptop or a cell phone. And they couldn't talk to anybody. There was no interaction between anybody at all whatsoever. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing with technology is we have to evolve with it. And, there needs to be caution. And now they're finally telling people, you don't text and you don't drive and all that other
Right.
stuff. I'll tell you what. There's a real good way to cure texting and driving and all that stuff. And they've got the technology to do it. But,
No.
see, when cell phones came out,
Right.
cell phones were very expensive.
Right.
You'd pay $25 a month for service, and you had like 15 minutes. I think, what was it? But not $25. It was like $200 a month or something. It was ungodly expensive because I had a bag phone, and I remember I was paying like $1.50 a minute if you're on the phone.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's outrageous. But look what it's done. It's taken away every payphone that there possibly is out there. There's no payphones around no more. People can't even use payphones. Where do you see payphones anymore?
Right, you don't.
And there's just a lot of places, and all these cell phones and everything have just taken over all that. And then they started coming out with all these texting. And I know that texting was cheaper because you get unlimited texting, and you'd only pay like $10 a month, and you'd only get like 50 minutes on the phone. So people just started texting. It was cheaper.
Right. See,
now that you can talk on the phone, and it's just gotten to the point to where it's $35 a month for unlimited everything. I mean, it's just
$50.
So cheap. I was reading an article where they're trying to eliminate cable altogether.
Right.
Because they seem to think that that's old stuff, but when you cable TV started out where if you lived in the mountains or in a valley, you couldn't get signal.
Right.
So, but now with all the satellite technology and stuff, you can. But it's just a big topic what we're talking about with all this stuff. The technology, it puts a lot of people out of work.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
We're not back to basics. What would have happened if the power grid kicked out? Because, without power, you wouldn't have any of this crap.
Right.
You would have nothing.
Right.
And you look at an old house, they have like a 60-amp service panel, and that's all it was, the old knob and tube wiring and stuff. Now, with houses, a standard house gets installed with a 200-amp service panel. That's to cover all the electronics. It used to be the biggest thing you had that would burn electricity in your kitchen was your refrigerator.
That's right.
What was that? Now they got electric stoves, and they got microwaves, and they got all these electric appliances and blenders and all this crap that people don't even need.
Right.
I don't know. It's amazing with all of this stuff. But it's put a lot of Americans out of work.
Yeah.
It really has. Like the street cleaner. I granted, you don't have some guy going down the street with the broom. But there's a lot of things that they've taken out of the theaters and stuff. Like look at ushers, in movie theaters.
Oh, yeah.
To put in, I was just thinking about that. And, there's you don't have any ushers no more.
Nope.
There's no doctors that are in the these hospitals no more. There's practitioners and stuff. And it's just crazy. And you look at like pharmacies. You know, it used to be that every single person in there was a pharmacist. Now you got one guy that's the pharmacist, and all these other people are just lower end workers. You know.
Right.
So he checks the pills and stuff, but what else have they done, Mark? There's a lot of stuff that's innovation has put a lot of people out of jobs. Well, just like road building. Now they've got all this equipment, which is good that they do. But, you know, back then, J. Edgar Hoover, he started the Hoover Dam, and that was to boost the economy.
Right.
You know, so people have jobs and stuff.
Right.
And he started that Job Corps, where people would go out and they plant trees and stuff like that in this country. But now, what are we doing for jobs?
Right.
Where, you know, we take all these jobs and we outsource them.
Yep. Yeah, exactly right. We're outsourcing our own work.